Hi Taurus, how are you? It's so good to see you. Welcome back to our kingdom here. Hey, we're just going to use a chakra oracle healing deck today, and we're just going to pull a chakra card and see where God wants to show you this perspective of your chakra, maybe what you don't see but need clarity on, a place in this arc of your rainbow to be able to move forward and produce all your colors brightly. Don't you think about it, Mr. Rowdy. My kitty getting my phone charged cord. All right, let's see. We're just going to pick through this pile here. Let's see what the Lord wants to bring out for Taurus, Father Jehovah. Taurus chakras today. It's this one. It's this one right there. I see. All right, let's move this way so we don't get any hints as to what the bottom of the deck could be, because we're probably going to pull that as well. I mean, who are we kidding? We always do. Okay, are we ready, Taurus? Are we ready to see what's going on in your rainbow? What's going on in your spiritual vessel to help you gain perspective and blessings within this lesson that you're still trying to learn? I feel like you feel like you're stuck in this position. 111 was just there, and you're like, how do I get out of this? I wanted grace, I wanted faith, but it just feels like I failed somewhere. So let's see what's going on. Let's see. Oh, well, Taurus, I love this because we talked about that. I wanted this to move forward with grace. I wanted to move forward in faith, but I feel like I failed somewhere. So you're in this mentality intellectually, thinking through the physical actions that you've taken, solar plexus chakra right here. And you're asking God, this is why you can tap into your mental stability right now and say, I thought I was doing this the right way, but I feel like I failed. So if I feel like I feel like I failed myself. I feel like I failed my God. When really, this opposite shift of this negative thinking theory needs to be, you know what, I'm just processing this information. I am fully aware of myself and I acknowledge myself and the fact of the consequences to my actions, and what I had done was not what I wanted. However, if there's no solution yet, 222, is this your ego now trying to rush this and move this forward? But when we can shift this paradigm, Taurus, and we're not focusing on these negative thoughts and the negative impacts, 2, 3, 4 within this ascension, it's really, okay, God, I did these things and I failed, so that didn't work. What can I do? Instead of using the language towards our own brain of I should have done this and I failed at that, it's I get to do this. I don't want to fail, so let's try something different. Let's try something new. And here you are in this action-packed mindset. God, where did I go wrong? God, enlighten me and show me. Shift my heart in such a way, because if we're sitting here in this present solar plexus position, sweetheart, your root and your sacral before that are already positively polarizing. They're depolarizing in the opposite side of the paradigm, but that experience has to fuel this experience, which is only fueling this. So you see the negative compacted impounding consequences to your actions within your root. But then here's the sacral, and we're trying to figure out, I failed, I went wrong somewhere. But then I get to do this, and I get to experience, and I get to walk with God, and I get to learn from God, and I get to see the perceptions change in the perspective, and I get to see the healing, but the trauma from it, and I get to see the gain, but I also get to see the consequences. But do you see how these are still yours? Do you see how this is still your benefit? Whether it's positive polarizing or negative polarizing, when it depolarizes you, you still have the balance to come back on the opposite end. So I want you to take your mindset, Taurus, and say, you know what, I understand what went wrong. I understand what I never want to do again. 411, how can I gain that 411 by 4 of Wands? How can I gain that stability within my solar plexus chakra in order to move my heart forward and my throat? Because 2 by 2, we have to also take into consideration the 1 in between the 2 by 2. So here is our heart, and we have this bracing impact of I don't want to fail again, because this has already hurt my heart. Taking awareness and acceptance. Enlighten me, Lord. I don't want to hurt my heart. I want to move my spirit forward in the right direction. I want to make my Lord, you, God, you, Jehovah, Yeshua, proud. 444, because you protect me. Absolutely. But then we also have to take into consideration, we see the negative depolarizing and the positive polarizing. We see the root and the sacral to the solar plexus. So let's look at the back side, which is really the front side of this next paradigm. We see the heart up over here with the root and the sacral, but then we also are going to gain that throat. On this opposite side, we're going to have third eye and crown, as this root and sacral are over here in this heart and throat. So heart is going to be the opposite energy towards what these paradigms are shifting within this own Star of David, this rainbow, yours. So this heart is going to be fueling from the root and the sacral, but it's both energies because it's the heart, it's the overall six, it's the ultimate portal to where our spirit can be moving as the star that it is, and allow ourselves to gain that potential and to detox that potential out that's already been used and combusted. So here we go, moving forward. So here's this positive polarizing energy within our heart space that also has to detox itself back out, back to the root, back to the sacral, back to the solar plexus, because it has to return back where it came from. The overall eye, the beginning to the end, is the root 2 by 2 before this. So now we're going to see this depolarizing energy one more time, and that 2 by 2 is going to be the throat, which is the hardest part of healing our chakras and our energy, because we have to sit there and say, I know I failed. I know I fucked up. I know that there's not an end to this yet, and God would never leave me, absolutely not, but also he would never abandon me in the middle of a battle. So this throat chakra is coming very quickly in as you're asking for this enlightenment. And so this other part of this paradigm that's hard, that you're stuck in this perception, Taurus, is saying the truth to yourself and completely being willing and able and open and honest with Jehovah to say, God, tear my heart apart. Show me, enlighten my heart, Lord. So I see that whole perspective to fuel back here, to fuel up here. So I'm ready to fuel this side, to go back to where it came from, because you have this opportunity. Right here is where you're stuck. And look how much more you have to gain, sweetheart. And look at this, your heart chakra. Shut up, Lord. There's so much wisdom, knowledge, power, perception between that throat chakra, between the truth, that you still need to tell yourself, sweetheart. And you're ready, you're willing, you're making big moves. God is even calling you to make moves in your true life, whether it's quitting jobs, changing schools, changing physical locations of your housing. That's a lot here, which is also another part of this, is you're gaining wisdom and knowledge, that power, perception, peace, understanding, prosperity from these old lessons, from these old moves that you made before. So one thing that you have to do while you're gaining this wisdom within that throat chakra is understanding where you were thinking and wanting to have this actions go from the first part of this mindset to the next upgraded part of this mindset, the enlightened mindset. How beautiful. Let's see the bottom of the deck. Release in your crown. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. We had talked about that crown, and that crown is going to be 2 by 2 from the throat, which is 2 by 2 from the solar plexus. So do you see how this crown, where you think you're not seeing clearly, there's a veil. I mean, obviously you're in the cold and depressy still. I feel like I failed somewhere. But Lord, I need you to help me release this. I need you to help me let this go. I need you to help me see clearly. The closer you get to the veil, the more this enlightenment power is going to rip it off for you. And then your crown is going to show you its own instincts because of the truth, enlightenment that's come from your actions. So the longer you keep yourself stuck down here and not wanting to tell yourself the truth, not be willing to accept another's truth, you can't always invalidate someone else's truth just because you don't understand it. And you also don't get to decide that you didn't hurt somebody when they tell you that they hurt you or you hurt them. That's just coming through my spirit, so whatever that means. Moving forward. You can't move forward with these negative habits, with these negative traits, with this negative closed-minded aspect, because it's not going to get you anywhere, sweetheart. There's lots of wounds here too that need to be cleared out, and this is where this enlightenment happens. Lord, where did I go wrong? Well, you went wrong because you're standing in a cemetery gathering all these around you. And when you gather this kind of death energy, you're not going to be able to move forward in life and love and hope and faith and all the things that are important. This is also coming out too. Throat chakra with the quest. See, you have to say truthful things to yourself, sweetheart. You have to think truthful things. You have to be willing to know the truth. And God's standing right there saying, look at my child. I'm ready to help you grow. I'm ready to help expand your rainbow. But I need you to be willing to do it. I need you to say the truth. Temperance energy is absolutely here. The balance of land and water to gain your footprints on the sand. I love that so much. Last card. Growth in your heart. My gosh. See? Look what you're doing. I love it. Thank you, Lord, for having my back. I love you. And God loves you more than me. Wounds into light. Take care of your heart, please. Seriously.